The Toronto Raptors even this series 2 games apiece against the Philadelphia 76ers. Chris Miles, Ryan McDonough, Smitty, Sam Mitchell. Sam, let's start with you on this. What does this mean for Toronto to get this series back to 2-2?
Well, it's everything, but I want to ask Smitty a question. When did bigs just started showing flat and let a guy beat him? Because you always teach guards to beat the big, right? What happened to hard showing up the floor and the defender, the primary defender, shooting the gap, getting reconnected, and now Joel Embiid can get back?
Oh, we were thinking the same thing because
what happened to coaching and teaching that?
That wasn't
just having him flat because he can't keep Kawhi in front of him.
That wasn't a trap. That wasn't a switch.
It was nothing.
It was no man's land, and that's why Kawhi was able to hit that shot. I obviously give Kawhi a lot of credit because that's a tough shot to make, but there's nothing here. There's no
switch. But look at the defense.
You're talking about Joel Embiid not playing the
back in our day, the big would show up the floor with his numbers toward the sideline to reroute Kawhi and make him go wide outside his shooting range, and then the defender, the primary defender, would shoot the gap and get reconnected, and then Joel Embiid would sit there on the nail knowing that he could still guard Marc Gasol, take away his three, and you're in the help position, and now Ben Simmons can get on that right hand, force him back to the left to Joel Embiid at 7 foot, sitting on the nail. That's what we were taught.
So, Smitty, who is that on? Is that Joel Embiid not following instructions, or is that on Brett Brown?
Well, we're not in his locker room. We can't say how they pick and rolls. We're just saying the way we used to play pick and roll. And I also look at it as sometimes you have to have a basketball feel. That's Kawhi Leonard. I'd rather get the ball out of his hands and make somebody else beat him. I always want to make the next pass and make Marc Gasol make the next play. Not that Marc Gasol is not a good player. You know Kawhi is rolling, so make it tough. And if I'm guarding Marc Gasol for Sam, who's Ben Simmons, whatever I do, I'm going to hold it longer, so it's almost a trap until he has him gathered. And then I'm getting out, and I'm hopefully you will be able to stunt and get to Marc Gasol so it won't be an easy
So we can
pass.
buy time to get
So you can buy me some time.
So it's a great point that you make as far as the feel of the game and the open looks and who got them, because in the first quarter, Toronto was 2 for 11 from three-point range, and if you look at a box score, you think, oh, they're not getting good shots. It's good defense by Philadelphia. But you like the quality of shots that they were getting early and often. Explain that to us.
I did, Chris. They didn't make a lot of shots, as you mentioned, early in the game, but I thought they were good quality looks. Every team in the league wants threes with their feet set, and Toronto got those early. They just didn't make them. And as the game went on, I thought Kawhi generated a lot of good looks, not only for himself, but for the other Raptors throughout the course of the game. You contrast that to Philadelphia and what they were able to do. They made some tough shots. J.J. Redick was tracing the three-point line and hitting his usual spinning and twisting threes. Jimmy Butler banked in a three, but Philly had to make tough shots. Toronto missed easy ones early, but Kawhi made the plays down the stretch to win the game.
All of those were wide open looks, and of course Toronto still held the lead at that point. Sam, looking at Philadelphia, I don't want you to get too excited because I know you were exuberant about talking about Joel Embiid and the fact that he went into that fourth quarter in single digits, took just 7 shots, scored just 11 points.
I mean, look, you're talking about the most dominating player other than Kawhi Leonard in this series, a guy that when he's got the ball, he's unguardable. And the fact that he's on the floor and he's out there chasing Kawhi Leonard in switches, and yet you're not using him. You're at home with a chance to go up 3-1 against the second-best team in the Eastern Conference, and the best center in all of basketball goes 2 for 7 with 11 points, and he gets the majority of his points from the free throw line in 35 minutes. Joel Embiid, look, if he's going to play 35 minutes, he's got to have at least 20 to 22 shots. He's got to. He's got to touch the ball because every time he touches it, the defense is going to shrink. They have to take away his driving lanes. And then he is a willing passer. He can open up things. But for him to play and get 7 shots at home in a game that you can go up 3-1, that's inexcusable. And that goes, and Smitty knows this, and Ryan knows this. You got to look at the coaches because if the players are not moving the ball and getting him involved, that's when you call a timeout and say, look, the ball's got to go through Joel. We got to play through Joel and get rolling.
Well, Smitty, we talked about this before this game. 10-5-5, that's what Ben Simmons is averaging in this series. 10-5-4 in this particular game. Do they have a problem? It's like you said earlier, if they win, it's not a problem. But if they lose, it feels like it's a Ben Simmons problem with this team.
Well, I think when you look at Ben Simmons, he's too talented just to go by his scoring. I think defensively, rebounding, I think he has to come up with way more rebounds. I think he had 5, like you said tonight. I just think he's not into the game, other than if it's on a push and a break, it seems like his eyes light up. When he gets a rebound and he pushes it, it has to light up on rebounding. It has to light up defensively. And he's not too much defensively right now because Kawhi has 39 points. So I think for Ben and also the 76ers, find a way to be engaged to win basketball games. I didn't see it tonight. Yes, he doesn't have the ball in his hand, but you still have to be productive.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler, 29 points, 4 assists. Again, he was controlling the offense, and that negates what Ben Simmons does.
Jimmy was the second best player on the floor tonight behind Kawhi. He kept filling in it for a lot of the game. And to follow up on Smitty's point and Coach's point about Ben Simmons, I thought he had a lot of opportunities to get to the free throw line tonight that he passed up. He only took 2 free throws. He missed them both. That's been something he struggled with throughout the course of his NBA career. So I thought there were opportunities with his size and strength and athleticism to get to the line, and it seemed like Ben Simmons shied away from putting himself in that position.
All right, it's taken a while to get back to this, but Kawhi Leonard's greatness in this postseason. 6 games of 30 or more. So he played 87 postseason games total in his career, right? And had 7, or before the start of his postseason, had 7 30-point games before that. He's really advanced his career as a scorer.
You know, we've sat here and watched him since the days when he went up against LeBron, when he was MVP, you know, playing. He keeps getting better. And now he's been able to make shots off the dribble.
He's too comfortable. When you watch him play, he is so comfortable playing. I mean, they're not putting any stress on him. It's like he's almost playing at home in the park with his boys. Am I right or wrong?
No,
and you're talking about this second round of the playoffs.
I'm still looking at his skill set, Sam. Off the dribble threes, being able to footwork, the way he's went to another level offensively, and he's been good, but now it's starting to be Kobe-ish, Mike-ish, where he's getting able to make plays through double teams. And I know what you're saying, Sam. These double teams ain't been hard, but I'm still impressed the level.
And they're going under the screens in a pick and roll right at the three-point line. Again, how many more threes does he have to make for you to realize you cannot go under? And second, the bigs got to be up. They got to be up even with the guy who's
Can I say something?
You can't be back.
Can I say something? You see the GM over there is cool. Chris is cool. I was a player, the coach. You can see your blood pressure is rolling.
It drives me crazy because
blood pressure. That's why I don't coach, Sam.
You did the right thing. You live a lot longer. Look at the hands. You live a lot longer.
Take a look at our Modelo Gold standard stat. The series, Toronto's been outscored 65-33 in 27 minutes with Kawhi sitting, or almost 53 points per 100 possessions, while shooting only 24%. And before we break down Kawhi Leonard even further, I've got some breaking news. Pascal Siakam is starting.
Oh, okay.
So that may or may not change any sort of prediction you might have had in mind. But look, Kawhi said he wants to be one of the top 50 players of all time. What does he need to do to make that happen?
Well, he has to continue on this path and continue to be consistent. You know, that's what greatness is all about, being consistent in what you do. Right now, he's one of the top 5 players in the game. He can continue to be an all-star year in and year out, make deep playoff runs. He already has a championship. He already has a finals MVP. He's 2-time defensive player of the year. He's well on his way, if not already there.
Right.
Yeah, like Paul said, he's on pace. He's on pace to do it. I mean, he's had a terrific career already. He still has a lot to do. Who knows where he'll be next year? But one thing about it, the way he continues to work, he'll be great wherever he's at. So he's on pace to do it. He maybe needs to set his goals a little higher because he's
right.
He's
I
on
feel
pace
like
for
he
that.
should actually. It's almost very Kawhi though that he said took 50.
I agree, and continue to remain humble. We both had the same college coach in Steve Fisher, so I've watched him for a long time. And to see his game continue to progress from a guy that was a lockdown defender always, but now just an amazing, efficient scorer, I can't say that I saw this leap happening so fast in his career. And you pointed to something I was going to say as well. Normally, people always say, I want to be the greatest of all time.
Right.
I appreciated how he paid homage, and he said, I want to be a top 50 player. I like that a lot.
It's yeah, it's very on brand for who he is. What does he need to do though today? I know Pascal is now starting. Obviously, he's not going to be at 100% as his coach anticipated. But Kawhi has to do what exactly?
Well, I don't think it's about him because we've seen him dominate this series. I mean, obviously, he's giving you the scoring, the defense. It's about the other guys. You know, you need the Kyle Lowrys to step up, Siakam to continue what he's doing, Marc Gasol. I mean, what more do you want Kawhi to do?
I agree.
I'll tell you what more I want him to do. I want him to be able to play make a little bit more. He's getting bucket after bucket. If Kyle's not going to be a guy that can play make, who else can get Danny Green shots? Who else can get Marc Gasol shots?
There's a name we haven't mentioned.
Kawhi can do that. He can do that. So, yes, he's having a great series and he can do a lot. they may need some more out of him.
I got a couple of names that we have not mentioned. What about Danny Green? Remember that championship DNA he brought to the team? He was second in the NBA in three-point percentage. He got to get hot. What about Serge Ibaka? Whether starting or coming off the bench, he was somebody that they relied on the entire year. And if Kyle Lowry isn't going, they got one of the best backup point guards in the game, and Fred VanVleet. Got to get him in the lineup. A
lot of names in there. Oh, detail. Got a new one. Kobe Bryant on ESPN Plus. Breaking down Damian Lillard.
Dame Dollar.
Trial of ESPN Plus whenever. Download the app or visit ESPNplus.com. Welcome back to NBA Countdown. Raptors, Sixers coming up. Marc Gasol, a big assignment once again against Joel Embiid. He'd done a solid job until the last one, which scored 24 points on 6 of 12 after only having 6 on 2 for 11 in games 1 and 2 combined. So something happened, something changed for Embiid and the Gasol matchup. Oof. Please make us smarter. What did happen?
Well, first and foremost, I mean, if you listen to Paul Pierce, he said his knee was hurting in the
It's a great point. Paul Pierce did say
then he went crazy in game 3. That wasn't his knee. That was just he had a couple tough games. That happens. I know it maybe never happened to the truth, but it happens sometimes.
Definitely.
But here's one thing you can't do. You can't play this guy one-on-one. I don't care what's going on now with J.J. Redick, Tobias, and Jimmy. You have to respect those shooters. Kyle Lowry's in no man's lane right here. No man's land. You got to go double this guy. 3 or 4 dribbles?
Yes.
You can't expect Marc Gasol to do that. But on the other side, here's the reason why you made that trade and got Marc Gasol. Because you would hope that maybe he can win you a game or 2 in the playoffs with his experience. He got some work down here. He got to go. He got to be able to go in his bag a little bit. You got to give him some opportunities to do something. And we always know right here he's going to bring that big man out of the paint. So he has to be aggressive. As Coach Nick Nurse said, he and Kyle Lowry passed up so many shots. Well, today, they don't have the opportunity to pass up anything. They both got to go to work.
Paul, what happened? Did his knees both miraculous? Just everything's healthy?
No, you know, sometimes it's about when you get to sleep in your own bed, you come into your own gym. That can revitalize you.
Wow.
I mean, truthfully, when you go home, this is a gym you're more comfortable in. You play 41 games there.
Superstars are comfortable everywhere.
Yeah, superstars are comfortable, and dominant players are comfortable everywhere. That's why I said he could have been a little injured there with that knee, having a little tendonitis problems, but
you two just don't, not buying it.
Tendonitis is a real thing. Ask Chauncey Billups. Ask Jalen. I'm sure we all done it.
That's not
you have your good days and bad days. It's a real thing.
Just so happens. But you weren't as impressed with Joel Embiid in Game 3. Why?
Well, here's the thing, and we're talking about it. Games 1 and 2, they did a good job on him. He had 28 points. In Game 3, he erupted for 33 points. And of those 9 field goals, he let us know that they were happening. He did not he did not in any way, shape, or form hold back. How about this? The windmill Jason Terry. Now, usually during a game, you only get a chance to do 1 celebration.
Hey.
Now, remember, he made 9 baskets.
Ooh, we get lucky here.
This is another celebration. The Russell Westbrook.
You can't do that unless you back somebody down, no.
You weren't even backing somebody down. And here's the third one. How about this one?
Oh, that's
little shimmy. You know what I mean? Like Steph Curry, Mark Jackson. This is all the same game. Got to beat the drum. Beat a dead horse. Beat the drum, big fella. Okay, show up.
Celebration back.
Right. Okay, do the little Hulk Hogan with the ear and Allen Iverson. You know.
This is all in one game?
This is all in one game.
After
so
one games 1 and 2?
He made 9 baskets and celebrated after 5 of them.
That was like an homage.
When you get home, that's what I said. You get in your own bed.
Oh, I love it.
That's where he's most comfortable at.
You don't like it or you love it?
I ain't mad at it. It's like celebrating in the end zone.
Well, we can tell he watches the game.
Yeah,
he plays with that enthusiasm.
Oh, I love it, too.
That inspires his teammates.
Now, however, if you Toronto, that's what you showing your team.
Over and over again?
No doubt about it.
Yeah, that would make me angry.
He's trying to show y'all up. He's trying to rub it in. What y'all going to do about it?
Who they going to show that to? Who going to do something about it outside of Kawhi?
Well, Kawhi
Somebody did something the first 2 games.
Who going to do something outside of Kawhi? Who going to